5 of 15 days of foundation. If you're new here, this is where we are trying out a new foundation every single day for 15 days. If you missed the other days, I'm going to link everything you need to know down below in the description box, but today we're doing the Soap & Glory One Heck of a Blot foundation and primer. Soap & Glory's makeup line is pretty new. You can find them in Ulta. This one retailed for $19, which I feel like is super reasonable. It's kind of in between drugstore and high-end, which I like. You get 1 fluid ounce of product, and then the primer retails for $14, which I also feel like is pretty affordable. If you think about some drugstore products like the L'Oreal Lumi Cushion, that was $17 at most places. So the fact that this is $19 is pretty good. So let's just read some of the claims on the website. It comes in 4 shades, which is a little disappointing. I'm assuming that since they just launched this foundation, they're kind of seeing how it goes, and then we'll open it up to more shades. But I have the lightest shade, which is Fair Enough. So it says that you get fabulous, flawless, full coverage, all-day liquid to powder foundation with Shine Block 12-hour long-wear technology and super blur powders. Offers ultimate shine control designed to give skin a flawless, non-cakey, soft focus finish. Perfection in a bottle. That sounds fucking great. So you guys will see what I think about those claims as I apply this foundation. So if you want to see what I think of the One Heck of a Blot foundation and primer, you're in the right place. Just keep watching. Okay, so in real life time, there's been a day between day 4 and today's video, and my face is looking pretty horrible. I have a huge zit right here, just breaking out all over the place, I feel like. I don't know if it's just where I'm trying out a ton of different products. I'm assuming that's what it's from. Okay, so I'm going to apply the One Heck of a Blot Instant Perfecting Pore Primer to one half of my face. I'm going to use it on the right side of my face only. I did test this out yesterday because I wanted to have some kind of opinion for you guys. Primers are kind of hard to do first impressions on, I feel like. And I really like this. I use this with the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation, which I'm obsessed with. If you missed that review, it was day 3, I think. I'll put it right here. All the previous days are linked down below in the playlist if you missed them. But I put that underneath the Tarte foundation, and I feel like it literally made my face look flawless all day long. It looked like I had just applied my foundation at the end of the night, which is amazing. So I do really like this primer with that foundation. It gives you kind of like a sticky consistency. Your fingers don't really glide over it at all. Makes sense because it's mattifying your skin. Looking at the outside of this is a little bit frightening. This looks super dark. I wore my crisscross top to hopefully distract people from my face if I look like an Oompa Loompa. But we're just going to blend down the neck and hope for the best. That's all you can really do in life, you know? So I'm just shaking this up. So I wanted to do shade comparisons again because I feel like, I don't know, hopefully this is helpful. Let me know down below if you guys like seeing these. So this first foundation right here is the Soap & Glory One Heck of a Blot foundation. The next one is the Catrice foundation from yesterday. Third one over is MAC NW10 Studio Fix. This one is Too Faced Born This Way in Snow. And then over here is Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless in 110. Here are some swatches for you. On the back of here it says, after moisturizing, use your fingers or a brush to dab a few dots to the center of your forehead, nose, and chin. Blend centrally and then rub any excess outwards onto your cheeks. So you're basically supposed to blend from like the center of your face out. I usually actually apply my foundation the other way because I feel like I have more to cover up down here. But let's do what they say. We'll see. It's supposed to be full coverage. Looks a little dark. So since I'm doing just the right side of my face, I'm going to try and like only put this on. So first I'm going to use the brush on the side of the face, then we'll go in with the Beauty Blender on the other side. So this is supposed to be kind of like a liquid to powder foundation. Okay, so that amount of product did not cover enough of my face. So I'm going to go in and just dip my brush in here, kind of stipple it on the rest of my face. It seems to kind of adjust to your skin tone, which is nice. It looks a lot darker when I first put it on, and then once it kind of sits up here, it actually adjusts really nicely. I don't think they claim to be shade adjusting, but looks like it is. Not the easiest to blend out. It looks kind of patchy over here. I'm going in for kind of a second layer to make everything blend and give a little bit more coverage. Since it does dry almost instantly, you have to work super fast with this. And putting a second layer on, it looks a little bit cakey. Yeah, My face definitely looks like I'm wearing foundation. I feel like I applied quite a bit and it doesn't look full coverage to me. This is like a medium to high medium coverage. You can still see acne, freckles even peeking through up here. Let's cover up this thing. So I'm going to go in with the sponge on the other side, starting from the center-ish. So just with that one thin layer with the sponge, it looks like a light to medium coverage to me. I'm going to go in for a second layer and see if we can get it to this kind of coverage without looking cakey. Okay, so after 2 layers, I think I got it to like a high medium coverage. Definitely don't think this is full coverage. There's some funky stuff going on my face, so I'm going to show you guys a close-up. Definitely was more buildable with the sponge, and overall I definitely like how it looks with the sponge better. It looks a lot less cakey. I'm going to show you guys what is going on. Let's do a close-up. So it looks pretty heavy, cakey, and streaky on my nose. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but there's basically like a line right here where it kind of dried and didn't fully blend out. Also happened right here where the foundation is basically clinging to my upper lip right here. You can see it didn't fully cover this area. Got pretty decent coverage down here. It just doesn't look that great. Definitely looks pretty dry on my forehead. I know it's supposed to be a matte finish, but it does look really heavy and cakey in my opinion. I'm just going to go over this with the sponge without any product on it and just try and blend this out a little bit more. It's pretty much powder finish, so that could be why if you're putting a second layer on top of powder that can look extra cakey, but it says it's supposed to be full coverage, and for me to even get close to full coverage I definitely had to do 2 layers. I can tell I'm going to get major mouth line creasing today because it already is starting to crease and it just looks super heavy on my upper lip. I'm really curious to see, let's actually do that on camera, I'm curious to see how the under eye concealer is going to blend out, because since this is basically a powder, putting liquid on a powder usually doesn't go too well, so let's see how concealer applies underneath the eyes. So for concealer, I'm using the Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer. If you missed yesterday's video, it's the Catrice foundation with this concealer. I really like this. I'm going to apply some under the eye, hope it blends out okay. Luckily, it's Sunday right now, the day before 4th of July, so if I can't leave the house today, it's not a big deal. Okay, yeah. This is kind of exactly what I thought was going to happen. Oh no. This is drying extra fast on top of this, and it's basically like trying to blend a liquid on top of a powder. I'm going with the sponge because I feel like I need that. So when you apply this foundation, I would definitely suggest applying your under eye concealer first. Oh man, this is bad. I'm going to show you guys the texture of this up close. Okay, so if you can see right here, there's kind of a whole circle where the foundation basically stops and you can see it, and here's the under eye concealer. This looks like liquid, this looks like cakey powder. Oh man, this looks so bad. There is so much texture. Look at that, what is this? My pores right there look huge, which I've never seen before. You can see right here the streakiness of this foundation. Okay, so I probably wouldn't leave the house like this. It looks pretty horrible, but for you guys, I'm going to keep this on. I'm going to apply the rest of my makeup and keep this on until the end of the night. So before I apply mascara and lips and stuff, I'm going to use a setting spray because I feel like this is the only thing that might make my skin look decent. This is MAC Fix Plus. This is a good setting spray if you have a super powdery foundation and you just kind of want to make your face look more like skin. Before we do this, my top lip feels super heavy, like powdery foundation. Highlight was a little bit difficult to blend out. Blush and bronzer was fine. It should be great because I'm blending on top of a super powdery finish. So I'm going to apply some of this. I just basically took a shower in this stuff, so if this doesn't work, I don't know what will. Okay, so the rest of my makeup's on. It's now 10:43 in the morning. I went for an intense lip because it was the only thing that was making me feel semi-decent. So this is the BQ lipstick in the shade Metal Diva. These rock. More moussey finishes, but they're super long lasting. Looking at the face, MAC Fix Plus helped a little bit. It still looks super cakey. This side of my face where I used the sponge definitely looks less cakey. This side looks pretty horrible, especially on the forehead, center of my face, and my upper lip. Those are the areas that look really bad. The cheek area looks fine. Right off the bat, I can say if you have dry skin, stay away from this. Even if you have combo skin, it's just not sitting on my face really well. It could just be my skin, but I think this is really for the oily people. As far as the full coverage claim, I don't think this is full coverage. I think that you can get it to like a high coverage. So the shade doesn't look horrible. If you look compared to my chest, it definitely is a couple shades darker, but it doesn't look horrible shade-wise. Definitely more of a yellow tone foundation. So like I said, it's 10:45. I'm going to keep this on as long as humanly possible, and we will be back to check in throughout the day. Okay, so it's now 2:43, so the foundation's been on for almost 4 hours. I didn't think it was possible to look shittier, but it has happened. So there's some really weird stuff going on my upper lip. It basically looks like I have a foundation mustache. All I've literally been doing is editing. I ate breakfast and I didn't even wipe my mouth at all. I don't know what happened, but basically the foundation has totally worn off in certain areas and gotten super patchy. I'm gonna show you guys a close-up so you can see what I mean. But around my nose there's creasing. The rest of my face looks okay, definitely not getting oily or shiny at all. So I'm going to show you guys my lip right now. Okay, so right here, what is going on? Do you guys see that? I've never had that happen with the foundation. Like I said, I didn't wipe it or anything. I didn't even touch my upper lip. And it's totally worn off, cakey, patchy. Look how thick it looks right here. It's basically all caked up right here. This just looks horrible. So as you can see, that just looks pretty shitty. I started editing these clips back and I think I said horrible like 100 times. I need a new adjective. Not looking good. So I'm going to try and keep this on for a few more hours. I don't think there's any going up from here, but I kind of do want to see how it controls the oil on my forehead, so I am going to keep wearing it, at least attempt to. Right, so it is now 8:42 p.m. The foundation's been on for almost exactly 10 hours. As far as controlling the oil, my forehead looks a lot less shiny than it normally does. My face definitely still looks matte. It looks super cakey around my nose area like it was earlier, except worse. Mouth lines, again, the upper lip is just not cute. It is coming off on my hairline up here. It kind of looks like I'm wearing a mask. I think you guys understand how I feel about this at this point on in the video. I do think it could be worth trying if you're someone who is extremely oily and who likes a light to medium coverage. That way you don't have to build up the layers. I think part of the issue might have been doing 2 layers, as it did turn out pretty cakey, but again, it promised full coverage, and if I can't get full coverage on the first layer, then I'm going to apply a second layer. So I don't know, I might try mixing this in with like a super luminous foundation and see how it works. I do think it kept me matte. I don't think it looks great. The prime side and the not prime side look pretty close. I actually think this one looks a little bit more matte. What do you guys think? If you're oily and need something to help mattify your T-zone, I do like this primer so far. I will continue to use this primer and try it out with different foundations. Like I said, I really liked it with the Tarte Reinforce of the Sea foundation. So this I think is worth it. For me, this foundation really didn't work out, but again, always watch different reviews on different skin types and see how it works differently for different people. Should we say different again? I personally don't like it. Sorry this one was a bust, but just being honest with you guys. If you guys like this video and you're excited for the rest of 15 days of foundation, give it a thumbs up so I know. Like always, you can always comment your requests down below. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.